Do you think they'd be like, oh, well, thanks for being vegan. You know, that's enough for you to be vegan. Thanks for doing that. Hi beautiful beings, it's Rebecca, the Vegan Pixie Warrior. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, my channel is all about uplifting other animal rights activists and also talking about the Liberation Pledge, which is another form of activism. I was inspired to make today's video by my friend Gawain. He put a video up a few days ago, just before Christmas, and it was a rant to camera, and it was perfectly justified. He was talking about how frustrated he is with people not going vegan and how he's tried telling them the truth. He's talked to them about zoonotic diseases, he's talked to them about what happens to the animals, he showed them footage, and they're just still not making that connection, and how angry he is and how this needs to change, and it finds it really frustrating. I'll pop a link here. It's such a good video. It inspired me to make my own video on a similar subject, slightly different. So this Christmas we had a 100% vegan Christmas. It was our second year doing it. I took the Liberation Pledge in September 2019. It's my Liberation Pledge bracelet. And if you don't know about the Liberation Pledge, it means I refuse to sit where animals and their secretions are being eaten. So I will sit with non-vegan family and friends, but I want them to eat vegan with me. Even though I've done that to alleviate my stress and my anxiety when I'm sitting with family and friends when they're eating animals, as an animal rights activist, I find it really upsetting. I still spent Christmas thinking about all the animals that are being killed this Christmas, and I think about them every day. I'm sure most vegans do the same. You can't, once you go vegan, you can't get it out of your head. You know what's happening, you've seen the footage, you know the facts, you know the numbers, and it's heartbreaking. It breaks my heart. And I got inspired by Gawain's video to make one, but aimed at vegans, aimed at non-active vegans, to be specific. Because if you feel the same way as me and you find it traumatizing what's happening to the animals, and I do, I find it really, really upsetting. Like I said, even though I've had a 100% vegan Christmas, in my mind, all I'm thinking about is all those turkeys on my family's tables and all those pigs that are being killed for the family and the fish that are being killed for the starters. And it just, I feel like I'm going to explode. I feel like I'm just, if I don't talk to people about it, then I'm going to explode. Now don't get me wrong, I don't talk to my family and friends about it anymore because I feel like I'm banging my head against a brick wall. They're just not getting it, the same as Gawain. But then I get the same frustration when I'm speaking to vegans. So there was a post on my local vegan page and it was saying, how are you going to cope this Christmas? What are your plans for Christmas Day and things like that? And there were so many people on there saying that they don't talk to their family about it anymore because there's no point, and people should be allowed to make their own food choices. And it just left me so angry and frustrated. As a vegan, can I ask you a question? If you're watching this and you're a non-active vegan, do you want animal liberation? Probably yes, your answer is, the same as me. Do you want animals to stop suffering? Again, I think that's probably yes, the same as me. Do you want more people to go vegan? Well, yeah, of course you do. If you don't, then you know, do you actually care about the animals? I spoke to a vegan over a year ago now at a vegan fair in my local town, and she's been vegan her whole life. She runs a Facebook page for vegans in my city, and she said being vegan's enough. I had to bite my tongue. How can being vegan enough? So if you're not racist and you see a black person being attacked on the streets and you don't do anything, you're doing enough because you're not racist. If you see a trans person getting attacked, but you're pro-trans, and you see them getting attacked or abused or having abuse online and you do nothing, you're just perpetuating the problem. You're not educating people. And it's the same with the animals. Like, animals are far more oppressed than any other being on the planet. 78 billion killed every year for food, clothing, animal testing, used for entertainment, and you're not saying anything? Being vegan is a non-action. All you're doing is picking the plant-based milk instead of the cow's milk. You're picking the plant-based meat over the animal flesh. You're picking the vegan Dr. Martens over the cow skin Dr. Martens. That's all you're doing. I want to say, as a vegan, the person that made you go vegan, or made the film that made you go vegan, or if it was Dairy Is Not Scary clip that made you go vegan, or if it was an activist on the street, or if it was someone writing a piece for a newspaper, or a post on Facebook that finally ticked you over the edge, what would you say to them? If you could talk to them, what would you say to them? Would you say, you were too dictatorship for me, I wish you hadn't have shared that post because it made me go vegan? I don't think you would you? I watched a film called Vegucated. That's what made me go vegan. And I'll pop a link up to my Veganiversary video here. I have been dying for months, well, years, to thank the person that made the Vegucated video. And I got the absolute pleasure and honour of interviewing Marissa for my channel about Vegucated and about her activism. The first words out of my mouth was, I am so humbled and grateful to meet you, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be vegan. It was such an emotional moment for me to meet that woman, because she opened my eyes up to what was going on. Sorry, I'm getting teary, because it upsets me that these animals, I was paying for that to happen for 40 years of my life. And it took me 40 years to make that connection. And if it wasn't for Marissa filming Vegucated, I probably would have gone vegan later, but it would have been later. And I'd rather, sooner than later, definitely. And again, if you're watching, Marissa, thanks again. I'd be forever grateful to you, because you've inspired me to go vegan. It's because of you. And then there's Mippy Valentine, who I also had the pleasure of meeting and interviewing. She inspired me to get active. She said something on her YouTube interview with me, and she said it before in other interviews that she's done. If 50% of vegans were active, we'd have a vegan world tomorrow. We'd have animal liberation tomorrow. But sadly, only 1% of vegans are active. Only 1% of vegans are doing something, whether that is giving out food, whether it's stickering, whether it's flyering, whether it's on the street, whether it's going into farms and covering the truth, like Earthling Ed did, or the Earthlings film, or Dominion, where they've put cameras in there and filmed what happened to the animals and put it out there for people to watch. That's an activist. If you've gone vegan because of that, that's an activist that's done that. So just think about that for the moment. Think about the reason you went vegan. Who tipped you over the edge? What was it that you watched? Or who was it you spoke to? And what would you say to them? Would you say thank you? Or would you say you were being a dictator? Because that's what I got called recently, being a dictator. And you can't dictate. And people have their own choices. And they have to be able to be free to make those choices, to pay for the animal's death or go vegan. It's not a personal choice. A haircut is a personal choice. The clothes that you wear are a personal choice. But eating animals and paying for their abuse is not a personal choice. So I did some research when I first started my YouTube channel, because like I said at the beginning, I want to inspire other vegans to become active. And a few of the main reasons people don't become active is they've got kids, they don't know how to get involved, they suffer with disabilities and they can't get out. They worked full time and they don't have the time to fit it in. They have anxiety, so they don't want to do street activism, which was my thing. I had massive anxiety, and then I became a street activist, and I realised I was doing it for the animals and not for me, and that really helped my anxiety, because what they're going through is way worse than what I was going through in my head. Going back to Mippy's video, she came up with a really good idea for being active that is really simple and easy. It means you don't have to speak to anyone. She said about writing on scrap pieces of paper little messages like watch Dominion or watch Cowspiracy, watch Vegucated, or this many cows get killed in the dairy industry, this many baby male chicks get killed in the egg industry, and this is how they die. Little things like that, okay? And then you fold those scraps of paper up, and while you're walking your kid to school, or you're walking to work, or you're walking to town, or you're going to the shops, you take those pieces of paper with you and you just slot them into the car windscreen of a car. That's all you do. And it might not be that piece of paper that makes that person go vegan, but it's sowing that seed, okay? You're starting them off. It might be the first thing they ever see or hear. Or sharing a post on Facebook, share a Viva video, you know, their latest clip on Hogwood. There are the Animal Justice Project. You can share some of their videos. Joey's just gone to a turkey farm this Christmas and put a video up of that. You could share that. So there are loads of ways. I've actually done a recent series of videos that I did for Advent, where there are different ideas every day of things that you can do. You can wear a vegan t-shirt. I don't know if you could see that. Not your mum, not your milk. There are loads of ways that don't mean that you have to go out on the streets. You don't have to take time out of your day to put a vegan t-shirt on or a vegan jumper on when you're walking your kids to school. There are so many things. You can do chalking, which is great with kids as well, because you can get your kids involved in that and do a bit of chalk activism. You can do a bit of stickering. There's no excuse for animal abuse, and there's no excuse for vegans to not be active in the movement. In fact, I had a comment recently on one of my videos saying that this person wasn't active because they didn't want to push their views on other people, and they felt that they would annoy people and it would put them out of their comfort zone. Do you know what? They've watched a few of my videos and they're making a New Year's resolution to get active and be more active for the animals and be a voice for them. Because even though they have a voice, we can't understand what they're saying. And if we could understand what that pig or cow or the monkey in the lab is saying, do you think they'd be like, oh, well, thanks for being vegan. You know, that's enough for you to be vegan. Thanks for doing that. No, they bloody wouldn't. They'd be like, help me, speak up for me, tell people about what's going on, tell people about what's happening to me. I'm sorry if this video angers you. Do you know what? I take that back. I'm not sorry. If this video has pissed you off and made you feel guilty, the same as the animal cruelty video should make the meat eaters feel guilty, then good. Okay? I'm hoping it's given you a kick at the bum and a fire in your belly, and you'll go out and do something. And if you need help or support or ideas or inspiration, message me on my Instagram page. The Instagram link is below in the description. Send me a message and I can try and put you in contact with an activist in your area. I can give you some ideas or inspiration and support that you need. There's also a great Instagram page that is there to help other activists. I'll pop a link to that too. I want to say a massive thank you to my patrons that support me in helping to inspire other vegans to become active. If you want to help me out, check out the link below for that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video, and comment. If this has given you a kick up the bum, comment, let me know. Good, I'm glad, and I'll see you next time.